All right, we're going to be talking New Edition in this video on the Haves and the Have-Nots review. So if you're new to the channel, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button, because aside from Tyler Perry work like the Haves and the Have-Nots, his plays, movies, The Pains of Loving You Is Wrong, sometimes I like to do videos about entertainment, whether it be music, sometimes about political things, as well as what's current in the news. So if you like those kind of topics, I definitely suggest joining the family by hitting the subscribe button, and let me know your thoughts on this comment in the comment section of this video, because this is an interesting one. Now, I've done like Prince versus Michael Jackson versus Beyonce, but on June 20th, that was the 30th anniversary of the Heartbreak and Don't Be Cruel albums from MCA Records, you know, with Bobby Brown, of course, and then New Edition. I've been a fan since I was born in '91, so, you know, I've been a fan of these two acts. I still call it New Edition. You know, Bobby Brown was a solo artist, but at the same time, you know, I still say New Edition. I grew up on the music. I loved it. Obviously, I was born after when these came out, what, 88? So yeah, I was born after these albums came out, but I grew up on the music. And let me just say this much. I love both albums, and I'm not here to just say like this one is better than the other one. And I love them both. I actually own a good portion of the albums here, because I remember after the New Edition story came out on BET, I think a little bit before the movies came out, I actually went on Amazon and then at Walmart, of course, like the $5 section, because I'm a sucker for the physical CD. Now, I got Spotify Premium. I know you can listen to YouTube, iTunes, all that good stuff, but if I find an album for a decent price, I will buy it. And sometimes I won't even open the darn thing. I got like two plastic little containers, not the huge like 20-gallon or whatever, but you know, the ones you can put on shelves, and they're full of like CDs. I know I got like New Edition ballads, the greatest hits, and I know I got Poison, the My album, Don't Be Cruel, Heartbreak, Home Again. The Ralph Tresvant album, the one with Sensitivity, I don't know why that's so expensive. Like everywhere I look, it's like $10. I'm like, well, dang, that's my least favorite album of the groups, but whatever. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is because for the anniversary of the album, and I'm sorry that this is a few days late, but I just wanted to get your all's opinion on it. Which album did you like better? Now, I'm not doing this video ranking the album in terms of commercial success, because clearly Don't Be Cruel was the best because it got a Grammy. I mean, that's something New Edition as a group, as well as the solo acts, were never able to accomplish. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, Bobby Brown was the only one to win a Grammy. So, and I believe that was for Every Little Step. But I feel that if I were to rank the two based off the song, yeah, I feel like based off the number of songs off of each respective album, I feel like Don't Be Cruel is my favorite of the two, because I know there are at least 5 songs I love. Every Little Step, My Prerogative, Don't Be Cruel, Roni, oh, I love Roni, and Rock With You. Rock With You. Rock With You. Rock With You. That's it. Because I know they spell it weird. And then on the Heartbreak album, Can You Stand the Rain, If It Isn't Love, and Boyz II Men. I'm not counting extended tracks like, you know, Helplessly in Love, and I'm not talking about the expanded editions. I'm talking about the original album when it came out in stores based off the track list. I know there are other songs like, you know, N.E. Heartbreak and Sorry, You're Not My Kind of Girl. I'm not big fans of those songs. Those are the only 3 I love. Can You Stand the Rain, If It Isn't Love, and Boyz II Men. Boyz II Men, that live performance Johnny Gill did with the group, my God, one of my favorite. Now, if I was talking about all-out performances, that would be the song. Boyz II Men outranks them all, in my opinion. But when it comes to albums, you know, if I put one into the CD player, which one would I not hit the skip button on? It would be Don't Be Cruel. That's just my opinion. I feel like both albums were a transition for Bobby Brown as well as New Edition. Bobby Brown, because the Girlfriend album, what was it, King of Stage came out, it made some noise, but it really wasn't that big of a commercial success. But at the same time, it gave Bobby Brown the freedom and control he wanted. But Don't Be Cruel is where he truly broke loose and became Bobby Brown, the king of R&B. honestly, after that, I don't really think I was a big fan of his follow-up albums like Hump Around and everything. Those songs really don't do it for me. That's just my honest opinion. I feel like Don't Be Cruel is one of those albums that's timeless. I mean, the fact that he kind of, in my opinion, Bobby Brown kind of peaked at that point, because after that, that's when him and Whitney got together. And it was kind of odd because, you know, one of the reasons he left the group was because he was not liking being confined by the limitations of a group, what he could and couldn't do on stage, not being able to sing lead as much as he wanted to. And then he broke out with an album that eclipsed that of New Edition, but then kind of settled in with Whitney because, you know, her talent was just on an entirely new level. I mean, him and Whitney were on the same level at one point, but after that, Whitney just skyrocketed. It's like, you know, Bobby Brown reached the stars, but then Whitney just went into an entirely new galaxy. It was like, you know, what? New Edition reached the moon. Bobby Brown reached the stars, but then Whitney just catapulted over all of that. But when it comes to New Edition, what I love is the fact that this was Johnny Gill's introduction to the group. Johnny Gill just took the group to a new level. I mean, honestly, the closing track being Boys to Men was just perfect because it was symbolizing that no more that bubblegum pop, whatever. This is New Edition as mature adults. And it was just amazing to see that. And then from that album, BBD, Johnny Gill, Ralph all did their own thing, which is amazing. I feel like in terms of these albums, both did what they were supposed to do, which was take Bobby Brown and take New Edition to the next level. So these two albums are just fantastic. I mean, to me personally, it was an easier choice between these two albums than another video I might do in the future comparing Thriller and Purple Rain, because my gosh, that is just a difficult one. That video will come. Let's just see how well this video does. If it gets about 5,000 views within a couple of weeks, I'll definitely be doing a Michael Jackson Thriller and Prince Purple Rain album comparison. I just feel like both of these albums were milestones in the group's foundation. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on this, I think Heartbreak was the greatest selling New Edition album. I don't know. Home Again might have topped it, but I'll go back and check. And then Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cruel, this album, no follow-up was as good as this one. I know he did like a compilation album and whatnot, but I think On Our Own was another good song too. So yeah, I take that back. He did do songs after Don't Be Cruel that I actually like. But with that being said, you know, let me know your thoughts. Do you own these albums? Which one was your favorite? I mean, this is something I'm probably going to be listening to for the rest of my life because I love the music so much. Dang. I just hope New Edition can get it together to go on tour one last time, you know? That would be great. So yeah, what are your thoughts on these albums? Which one do you prefer? Is there another New Edition or Bobby Brown album that you prefer over these two? Maybe there's a Johnny Gill album or BBD album or Ralph Tresvant album that you feel is stronger than Heartbreak or Don't Be Cruel. It's kind of funny because I think of most people make the 5 Heartbeats comparison. You know, Bobby's Eddie King Jr. and then Johnny Gill is like Flash, like, you can't take my spot. But I think of it more as the Temptations. You know, you got the David Ruffin era, but then you have the Dennis Edwards era. That's kind of where I feel, because remember that even with David Ruffin, the Temptations never won a Grammy. But when Dennis Edwards came in and Cloud 9, that's where they got that Grammy. But too bad New Edition has yet to win it. But they got the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. They got an amazing 3-part movie. Man, it's amazing. It's amazing. But the Bobby Brown story is coming out soon. That's great, in a few more months. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on these albums, and I'll talk to you all soon.